We're going to talk a bit more about the upcoming vote with our Washington correspondent, Fraser Jackson. Fraser, today you're going to focus on the all-important black vote in this race. And there has been a shift in the polling in this election, particularly among the black community. What are the numbers saying?
Yeah, currently are getting a slew of polls about the black vote at the moment, and it's showing slightly lower support in favor of Kamala Harris than in previous years. We've got some recent data from the New York Times Siena polls, which we can bring up for you. Kamala Harris here with a 78% support among the black community, which may sound high, but it's actually lower than previous years. Donald Trump there making inroads with 15% of the black vote if things were to take place today, and that is important because it's no GOP candidate, no Republican candidate has ever gotten over 10% in these polls. So 15%, almost double what he did last year in 2020. If you looked at Joe Biden's number, 92% of the black vote went Joe Biden's way in 2020. So Kamala Harris significantly down on that, although it must be said she was ahead of where Joe Biden was with the black community had he still been the nominee for this time round. Now, that is because a lot of black people and black voters feel like they haven't really had their promises fulfilled to them. They feel like they've constantly been taken for granted as the backbone of the Democratic coalition. But in reality, that Democrats have failed to carry through their promises to them. And the Republicans are doing a better job at promising more things to that community as well. And that's important because they're going to be a key swing state in places like Pennsylvania, Michigan, and also Georgia. Georgia has the third largest black population in the United States, and it is there that Kamala Harris hopes she can make some inroads to swing the state in her favor. But Donald Trump is chipping away at that lead, which could ultimately mean that he will end up getting the keys to the White House come November if the margins remain like this and keep going Donald Trump's way. And the real subset for that is definitely among the men of the black community. That really is where he's starting to make more inroads, and that is where we are starting to see that number fall the Republican way.
Right. And it's really interesting to see, Kamala Harris, a woman, having this gender divide within the black community with the number of women supporting her higher than the number of men. Now, how crucial could that be on Election Day, and what is she doing to try and fix that?
Yeah, well, let's zoom into those numbers. Let's zoom into to that poll that we got from the New York Times Siena poll and break it down by gender a bit. Kamala Harris, 83% of women say that they're going to vote for Kamala Harris, but 12% of them say they're looking towards Donald Trump. 5% don't know. But look at that figure with the men. 70% say that they're going for Harris. That's a 13-point difference to the women. 20% of men saying that they're going for Donald Trump, and even more, double the amount of men than women saying that they don't know yet who they're going to vote for. There is a trend that we're seeing at the moment that's being picked up by various polling, that black men are becoming more conservative. Now, that is kind of bucking the trend of what you normally see, where people get more conservative as they get older. And they're starting to mention a lot more of these similar concerns that we're hearing from other segments of the population. Their main worries are the economy, immigration, and they're also more socially conservative as well. We're thinking more anti-LGBTQ stances, and potentially there might even be a bit of sexism at play here. And that was something that they got berated for by Barack Obama, who was on the campaign trail for Kamala Harris on Thursday in Pittsburgh, where he admonished the black male vote for being what he perceived as being more sexist. Take a listen to that.
I'm going to go ahead and just speak some truths, if you don't mind. Please. Because my understanding, based on reports I'm getting from campaigns and communities, is that we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. Now, I also want to say that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers. And you're coming up with all kinds of reasons and excuses I've got a problem with that because part of it makes me think, and I'm speaking to men directly now, part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. And you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that.
So Barack Obama getting some backlash after those comments, and Kamala Harris trying to make inroads with that community. She's launching a big campaign this week to appeal to black voters, including in Detroit, where she'll be speaking to Charlemagne the God on Tuesday.
All right, Fraser, thanks so much for that. Fraser Jackson with your weekly wrap-up from the campaign trail in the United States.